do you believe that Andrew was engaging in sex with underage women?
Right. See,
girls?
this is what I was saying to you about assumptions, and I base my opinions on facts. The facts I know is that his interest was in women, girls from 20s into their mid-30s. That's what I've seen. Obviously, Maxwell, we believe they were in some form of relationship because of the stuff that I've told you. Underage girls...
It's not the same, bear in mind, someone who's got an attraction for a girl like 13 and under is very different to what was happening with the Epstein. I think we're talking about post-pubescent.
Yeah, I think he's... Right, look, he's done something, and it's clear as night and day, because he agreed to speak to the FBI. Now, if you're innocent, especially a senior member of the royal family, now these are facts that are going on facts, yeah?
Yeah.
If you're a senior member of the royal family and someone has made an allegation like that against you, and it's massive, the royal family are going to put a wall of concrete around you and defend you to the hilt. They're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink to defend you, aren't they? They're going to use every legal process, every top barrister in the country to prove your innocence. What did they do? They cut him loose. Right? They didn't defend him. And I'm pretty sure that the Queen and King Charles now, were the ones that told him to do the settlement. Because it would have been on the Queen to have told him to do that, because it had got too far out of hand by then. But then why would you pay a settlement if you're innocent? Why would the Queen not say, no, we'll fight this because, So he's obviously done something, and he's obviously had to tell the Queen and Prince Philip, and Prince Philip at the time, what had gone on. And they've said, you know what, you're going to have to just cut it now.
He's done something.
He's done something. As opposed, in terms of underage sex, I couldn't say either or, you know what I mean?
But potentially women who were procured or made
potentially. I think that could be where his issue is, because they could have been procured with or without his knowledge. Either or, it doesn't really matter. It's still morally, it's unacceptable. Wherever you look at it,
the rest of us aren't flying off to islands and doing all that.
I mean, he's and bearing in mind he was always out partying. So if you look at his hedonistic lifestyle, it's sort of. Would it have come across? Would he have crossed paths with these type of people? Of course he would.
Was he quite a drinker?
No, I'd never seen him drinking. I don't know if he did drink or not.
Weird, interesting. He's a weird character. He's out partying all the time, not drinking much. Says he doesn't sweat, and he does. He gets his teddy bears done. Yeah. This is an odd profile. I'm just looking at like latest news about him, because a lot of people are suggesting he's now become a bit of a recluse. Well, Charles wants to evict him from the royal lodge and gift the estate to Camilla. Yeah, he's out, right?
Yeah, he's not coming back. I mean, as I said to you, he's a toxic asset to the royal family. There's no coming back for him whatsoever. What he should have done was concentrated on sort of connecting with the victims of child sex crimes and trying to do something positive and highlight that issue, because that's what he's been accused of. Well, do you know what? Come back and show us you can do something positive. Turn a negative into a positive, not only for yourself, but for millions of people all around the world that need some guidance, and for the country. That's what he should be looking on doing, not hiding.
He's not interested though.
That's just the actions of a coward, and I just think with him, I don't think he's changed either, in terms of his attitude towards his staff. And I'll tell you the story that's what I was going to lead on to. Do you know, I told you about the woman we let in and we've got told. Yeah. Well, obviously after that particularly nasty incident, people were coming in. Come in. You know what I mean? We didn't want the grief. And then a few years ago, this happened at Windsor. Exactly the same thing happened. He was at his lodge in Windsor. A woman turned up in a taxi and said, I'm here to see Prince Andrew. I think she said she was his fiancée. Well, the officers have just gone, in you go. It wasn't. It was a mentally challenged woman. It was a stalker. Wow. And she was left to wander around his private lodge unchallenged until they realised. I think they even paid a taxi fare or something like that. But until they realised and they managed to detain her. And that is a case of, what I was saying, like we're too frightened to ask for names and confirm it, because they know what Prince Andrew's going to do.
You want to give him a lecture at that point, but I bet no one did.
That was his own making, but the officers are the ones that are going to get the raw end of the stick on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's unfair. And I said this 20 years ago, and it's come back to bite a unit in the arse again. Do you know what I mean? because we're still, what we said, nothing changes, archaic system, it's not changed.
She must have not believed her luck getting in.
Well, no, I mean, all she had to say was Prince Andrew, and that was it. You know, because little did she realise how feared he is amongst the squad. Do you know what I mean? The protection officers.
Do you think Prince Andrew could still at some point go to prison?
No, listen. I said this right back when I did Sean Atwood's interview that he's untouchable, that nothing's going to happen to him, and I was proved right on a number of issues. Legally, there's nothing that's come out that he can be charged with criminally. All right, there's no statements, there's no DNA, there's no CCTV, there's no, do you know what I mean? No independent witness stamps. I think there's one allegation made by Giuffre, but then she's settled. So whatever the FBI have got in terms of what their investigation's doing, well, let's see what they turn up. But again, it comes back down to Prince Andrew has unfortunately put himself in the position where he's the public have found him guilty because of his silence and because the payout and because he refused to speak to the FBI. Well, if you've done absolutely nothing wrong, you'd be flying over there to speak to him. Say, listen, I've done nothing. I'll help you whichever way I can. That's the normal actions of a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we come back to it, we flip that saying, and then also, does a normal person go and visit a convicted paedophile in the position Prince Andrew's in? No, you don't.
No. So, and the woman visiting him 4 times a day
Ghislaine Maxwell was you know what I mean? Most of his friends are now convicted sex offenders. All them, your Epstein's, your what's his name, Guyard or something. There's loads of them. Harvey Weinstein was at his party. And
he's mates with Andrew, was he?
Yeah, he was at Andrew's daughter's party, Weinstein. Was it Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein? He was in prison for rape?
Yeah.
Yeah, but half a dozen of his closest friends are now, Peter Nungard, that's it, another one, yeah. Half a dozen of his closest friends are convicted sex offenders.
Well, and yet he's the favourite of the Queen.
Well, listen, I always say, if you found out one of your friends was a pervert, you'd think, you'd be shocked. You'd think, damn. But half a dozen of them, there's a theme there, and you think, one, but 6 of your mates have now turned out to be pervs. I mean, that doesn't really look good for your circle of friends or, the choices you make in life when it comes to relationships and friendships. And, and like I said to you, because he's been protected for so long, he's just managed to get away with it.